everyone, welcome back, welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, my name's Christina, welcome on in. If you're not, welcome back. But in today's video I'm going to be doing a mood read with me for a week, seeing how much I realistically read in a week. This is a full work week, as you can probably tell by the fact that I look like I'm gonna go to bed soon. It's Sunday night right now, so I'm gonna do this Sunday till Thursday, and I am working every single one of those days. I was at work today and I am working Monday through Thursday. My boss has said he's gonna try and give me an early finish one of those days if he can, because I am working X amount of days in a row. I think I'm doing 6, and they try not to put me on 6, but obviously that's how it's happened this time. So he is going to try and give me an early finish one day, but I thought I'd bring you along. We can see how much I realistically read in a week when I'm literally working every single day. Normally my reading does consist of, when I'm at work, it really does consist of whatever time I have in the morning before I have to leave / get ready. I'm either scrolling through TikTok, doing like YouTube uploads and things, or I am either listening to an audiobook or reading my book. So for instance, this morning I did finish Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. I had about 2 hours left of the audiobook, which was about 100 pages, and I did finish that off and really enjoyed that. Let's see how much we can read. So obviously if we do count that, that is 100 pages that I've read today, technically, because I listened to it while I was like getting ready for work today. But I've decided to start The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I need to read this book now because I feel like if I don't read it in November, I'm just not going to read it at all. And it is on my November TBR, so I think it makes sense. I just need to read it. So I'm going to start The Dead Romantics tonight. I'm very excited. I've really enjoyed all her other books, so I think I'm going to really enjoy this one. I think I have read the first chapter a while ago, but I'm very much in the mood for like a romance with like the sidey plot. I feel like this and Uncharmed are quite similar in the sense of like the magical bits, like a plot point, like a plot, but it's not like the whole thing, pretty much. So from what I know is she is a ghostwriter, but she meets her new editor, and then I think the next day he shows up at her apartment, but he's actually a ghost. So I'm very excited to read this, and I definitely will be starting this tonight. I don't know how much I'll read tonight, but I'm hoping to do like at least like 50-ish pages. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? It's currently 6:25, so I have about, I normally start reading about 8, but I think I'm going to read now for a little bit after I've just kind of like reset for the week, which I won't show you because, you know, boring. But yeah, I'll let you know when I'm a little bit into The Dead Romantics, so I can give you a bit more of a synopsis on what is going on in this book. I'm very excited to read this because I've been putting it off so long. I do have some books that are on my radar for this week. Like I said, I'm kind of just like mood reading. I would love to get to Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. That's like a new release that's just come out I'd really like to read. Same with Breathe With Me by Becca Mack. That's literally just come out as I'm filming this. I would really like to read that. Winds of Darkness comes out this week, I think, and I would like to read that. And I would like to get to some books on my physical TBR. I am also currently audiobooking Heavenly Bodies by Imani Erriu. It's my current like reread. I think I have about 3 hours left, so I will probably get around to finish that in this vlog as well, so you'll get to see that. I don't think I'm starting another audiobook though, because I only have like an hour left on BookBeat and my subscription doesn't renew for like 2 more weeks, and I don't want to have to pay, but I probably will, so we'll see. But I'll chat to you when I start The Dead Romantics.
I think we got a new set point.
So I have a bit of a reading update. So obviously last night I said that I was going to be starting The Dead Romantics, which I got to page 27 of last night, which so far I am enjoying it. Honestly, I probably could have read for longer, but I was kind of just tired and just wanted to go to bed. But I did end up reading 27 pages. So that did mean that yesterday I ended up reading a total of 127 pages because we audiobooked Uncharmed in the morning, and then we read this. And so far today we have also done quite a lot of audiobooking. I ended up finishing my audiobook of Heavenly Bodies. This is a reread for me. I loved this book. I read it back in January and I wanted to consume these story and these characters in this world before book 2 comes out at the end of November. So actually, as you're seeing this, I think book 2 comes out in like a couple of days. Not the point. So this morning I listened to 284 pages of this and ended up finishing it off. Obviously this is a 5-star, 6-star read for me. I love this book so much. I generally have thought about it so much during the past like 10 months, 11 months since I read it initially. So obviously I am ready for work. I have to leave in just under an hour, so I think I'm gonna read a bit more of the Dead Romantics this morning. If not, I will definitely be reading later on. I'm currently trying to decide what my next audiobook is gonna be. I'm currently kind of between doing Bare Albums in the Midnight Soil or Rose in Chains. They're kind of my two options, but I don't know what I'm feeling, so I'm just gonna save that for later. But yeah, I'm really happy with the progress we have made. We obviously finished Heavenly Bodies this morning and I'm going to be reading a bit more of the Dead Romantics either this morning or tonight. I'm not too sure. That's my little reading update. It's reading update time. It is now Tuesday, but I have a reading update from yesterday. So obviously, like I said yesterday morning, I ended up finishing off Heavenly Bodies, which was 284 pages, and last night I ended up reading 2 chapters of the Dead Romantics, which was 17 pages. So that means yesterday I read a total of 301 pages, which is pretty good. But since then, this morning, I have honestly been listening to the audiobook of the Dead Romantics. Like I said, it's my time in the morning. I listen to an audiobook or I read, and I either play a game on my Switch. This morning I've been playing Animal Crossing while I was listening to the Dead Romantics, and I'm now on page 108, which is chapter 12. So I've done a decent chunk of this morning, about 50-60 pages, which is really good. I am really enjoying this. We're starting to get into the main story. Obviously, I think I said, but this book is centered around a girl called Florence Day, who is a ghostwriter, and then she meets her new editor, who is like very handsome, and then one day he shows up at her door and he's actually dead and he's a ghost. So that is kind of where up to. He is a ghost. He's shown up at her door. He doesn't realize he's dead. He's like, why is everyone ignoring me? She's just told him that he's dead, and we're gonna go from there. So I'm very excited to start to get into this story. I love Ashley Poston's writing. I love her storylines. I love that there's always a magical element. So for instance, in A Novel Love Story, she goes into her favourite book series, and then in The 7-Year Slip, it's the same apartment, but there's a crossover between the two people that lived there 7 years in the past and now. So I really like that series, that book as well. And then this is obviously the Dead Romantics. She does have another one which I've not read, which is Sounds Like Love, which is something to do with music, which I'd really like to pick up like next spring, summer. But I'm really enjoying this, and I'm so annoyed at myself once again because I've put it off for so blooming long. But yeah, I'm having a really good time. I'm definitely going to be reading a bit more this morning, tonight. I need to actually get some more hours on BookBeat because I got the lovely You're Out of Hours this morning. So I am gonna get some more hours this morning, so then we can listen to, like, actually start another book and listen to that. I think I'm gonna go for Bare Albums or Rose in Chains or Phantasma, but I'm not too sure, so I will keep you updated on what book I end up choosing. But yeah, I'm having a really good time, and I feel like I'm reading quite a lot this week. I feel like last week I didn't read a lot, but this week I'm reading quite a lot, which makes it feel really good. Even though I'm working, I feel like I'm still getting significant reading done. It's probably because I have later starts. So like for instance, yesterday I was in at 10, today I'm in at 9:30. So I've had that time in the morning that I can sit and listen to my audiobook, which has been so fun. But I will keep you updated. I'll update you probably tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'm having a really good time with the Dead Romantics right now, and I'm hoping honestly to get kind of close to finishing this today so we can wrap this up tomorrow is my plan anyway. I swear every reading update is in this position. It's just the easiest place for me to film in the morning. But let's talk about all the pages that I read yesterday. So we are officially now on day 4, so we have one more day left. But yesterday I ended up reading / listening to a total of 79 pages of the Dead Romantics. I ended up, like I said, yesterday morning I was listening in the morning, and then I did read 2 chapters before I went to bed, which is kind of always my goal. If I'm physically reading something, audiobooking, whatever it is, I always try and read 2 chapters at least of whatever book before bed. That's kind of my minimum. So I did do that last night, and then this morning, once again, I have been listening to the Dead Romantics. I only listened for about an hour, so I didn't get too much further into the book. Maybe like 30-ish pages, but I'm still having a really good time with this, and it's definitely starting to pick up a little bit more now. So I'm very excited to come home and do a bit more. My goal was to try and finish this today. I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, this is realistically how much I read while I'm at work, and I've been at work obviously every day in this video, and I will be at work tomorrow. So this is just realistically how much I'm going to be reading, and I have not read a lot, but, well, I have, but like, in terms of like finishing loads of books, I've technically have finished 2 books, and I'm on the 3rd, to be honest, so I have actually. Look at me just trying to like doubt myself, but I'm generally having a really good time with this. Obviously I've kind of said what this book is about, but we're starting to get further in to that kind of side of the story, and I think I'm nearly halfway, so I think once we get to the halfway mark it's going to really pick up. I did end up buying more hours on BookBeat, so I have another 20 hours, actually less than that because I already used like 2 hours this morning, so we'll see. But I will definitely keep you updated. Hopefully I'll do a little talkie update later on tonight, but we'll have to see, because long days at work, I don't always want to talk when I get home. Once again, I'm coming at you in the exact same space that I literally spoke to you every morning, but today is the final day of seeing how much I can realistically read in a week. Let's talk about what I read yesterday, and then I'll update you on what I read this morning. Yesterday I ended up doing a total of 105 pages of the Dead Romantics, so obviously I think at that point I was about 220 to 30 pages in, which I still having such a great time with it, and I think I read like a chapter or 2. I did audiobook in the morning and at night. I did end up finishing that off this morning actually. I ended up finishing the Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I think, like I said, I think I had like 120 pages left, and I did set an audiobook the rest of it. I think it was about 3 hours ish. 3. I think I listened for about 2 hours, so maybe I had about 4 hours left of the audiobook, because obviously I do listen to it on 2 times speed. I really enjoyed it. I've not even taken my bookmark out yet. There we go. I really enjoyed this. This is a 4-star read. I definitely recommend it for like cozy season. I definitely recommend it for like October, November. I'm really happy that I finally got around to this. This book has been on my TBR for just a little over a year. I bought it about this time last year because I just read the 7-Year Slip and absolutely loved it. I was like, I need more of her writing, and I never read it. So I'm really happy that I have finally got around to this. Obviously, like I said, this was a 4-star read. I had a really good time. I really enjoyed our characters, the plot. I really liked the way that it did end up, and I really do want to pick up her other book, which is Sounds Like Love. I'd really like to pick that up in like next spring, summertime, but I had a really good time with this one. I definitely recommend it if you want a romance that has that magical kind of side to it, where it's not a fantasy but it has some sort of magic in. I definitely do recommend picking up Ashley Poston's books because they're such a good time. I really enjoy her writing, I really enjoy her characters, her plots, every single time. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to read next. I'm kind of between a couple of things. I'm between starting maybe A Promise of Blood or Alchemy of Secrets, or really I could start anything. I'm not too sure. I might save it for when I get home from work later, so then I can like properly choose something to read. But I'm kind of between A Promise of Blood, The Night is Defying, Alchemy of Secrets, Assistant to the Villain, I'm kind of just in the mood for something like that. I'll pick something later and I'll let you know what I do end up starting. Today is my final shift at work for my 6-day sprint. I have 2 days off now, but obviously, like I said, I'm only going to bring you along while I'm at work, so I did Sunday through to Thursday, but I will update you tomorrow morning and I can finally let you know the end page count, because obviously I'll probably end up starting a book tonight, so I'll have to add that on to the rest of the Dead Romantics. But so far this week we have finished 3 books. So obviously I'd finished off Uncharmed on Sunday. I finished off Heavenly Bodies on Monday, I think, and we've started and finished the Dead Romantics. So that feels really, really good, and I feel like that's a very good realistic reading week for me, especially if I am audiobooking as much as I have been recently. I go through phases with audiobooking, but recently, from like the start of September, I think roughly from like through September, definitely October, I did a lot of audiobooks, but like I started trying to get back into it in September. October I did loads, and November I'm really trying to keep going with it because I do really enjoy it. And I'll update you later on whatever book I end up starting. Like I said, I'm not too sure what I'm in the mood for. I might end up going for none of the books I just mentioned, but we'll see. So this is the final wrap-up clip. It is Friday morning. Let's talk about everything that I read this week, and I'm gonna give you an overall page count as well. So overall, in 5 days, I ended up reading 723 pages over the course of audiobooking and reading. So let's go through how much I read every day and of what books. So on Sunday, I read 100 pages of Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood, which I ended up finishing. I really enjoyed this. This was a 4-star read for me. Very much enjoyed this. I'd 100% recommend this if you want a cozy, witchy book. We also started The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, which I read 27 pages of this. Then on Monday, I read 284 pages of Heavenly Bodies, which I audiobooked, and I ended up finishing this. This was a reread before book 2 comes out this month, and I'm so excited. But this was such a good read. This is like a 5-6 star read for me. I absolutely love this book. Definitely recommend picking this book up if you haven't already. Then we read 17 pages of The Dead Romantics on Monday as well. On Tuesday we read 79 pages of The Dead Romantics. On Wednesday we read 105 pages of The Dead Romantics, and on Thursday we've ended up finishing off The Dead Romantics with 111 pages. So in total, like I said, in total this 5 days we ended up reading 723 pages, which I think is pretty good, and it did mean that I ended up finishing off 2 books and then completely reading the 3rd one. So like I said, I had 100 pages left of Uncharmed, I had 280 something left of Heavenly Bodies, and I had the entirety of The Dead Romantics. But I had a really, really good reading week. So we had 4-star read, 5-star reread, and a 4-star read. So I think we did really, really well. And honestly, I've been meaning to do my reread for ages. Uncharmed I was meaning to read since it came out. The Dead Romantics has been on my physical TBR for over a year, so I'm very, very happy that I ended up reading all of these. I think really I always read for a couple of hours in the morning. I didn't end up starting anything else last night, which I said I was gonna. I just didn't, honestly. I just had a bit of a chill night. I had a really good time filming this. I hope you enjoyed seeing how much I realistically read while I'm working. For the 5 days that I was filming this, I was working all 5 days. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.